Hey, Homestead Aquarius, how's it going today? Yeah, just decided to do a little live this morning. Gonna wait for Rebel Canners to go on, and so I can mod for her. Hey, TH2, how's it going? Yeah, just decided to have some coffee and some cigarettes with my friends this morning. No particular reason. Everybody can meet up and chat and what have you. This is my first real live stream, I guess. She goes on, I think, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, 11 Eastern, 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, I got a mod for her channel, which is kind of nice. So, yeah, I got my pomegranates transplanted yesterday. They're doing okay. Then I'm going to get some more tomato seeds planted today. Um, Possibly, maybe do some woodworking. Really haven't decided, but I will after her live stream's done. It's snowing outside up here in Canada, so we'll see how the day unfolds. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna see push a button here and hey Janine, how's it going this morning? Yeah, I didn't think it, Homestead Aquarius is Alabama like really in the real southern states of the southern part of the states? Oh yeah, that's what I thought, Homestead Aquarius, because if it's not necessarily by Texas or Arizona, but about the same um, uh, somewhere along that part of the states. Yeah, it's very unusual, I guess, for snow to be happening. How's your indoor garden coming there, Janine? Yeah, I've got some. I last count, I probably got about 25 or 30 um, pepper plants and about 10 tomato plants and yeah, I got for my indoor garden, I got three uh, 3 footers, I think they are, and three 4 footers with double lights in there, and they're pretty. I made sure they were pretty bright. So that and they're by a window, so a double window. I've got the church windows here where they're like curved at the top there, and they got to be about 4 foot tall. And so I got blinds, well, flags like um, uh, band flags in them. Um, and so I'll move them aside and so that the sun or the light from outside can come in, but I keep the lights on during the day from the moment I get up pretty much to the till about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Yeah, they seem to be doing okay. But when I do the seeds, I make sure that they are right by the window to get the light, and I do them in egg cartons, the bottoms there, and put a little dirt and seeds in there, and more dirt, and then let them germinate like that, pretty much. And then when it's time, I transplant them into a container, and then put them in a bigger container if I have to. I use yogurt containers. I got glucosamine containers. I got 5 gallon buckets. The 6-inch containers. You name it, pretty much everything in there. Uh, Try to reuse what I can. So got some ginger. It's doing good. One of them's like maybe an inch tall, like so. It's almost at it. It's starting to make its first leaf. Some of my turmeric is starting to take off now. With it's starting to sprout up its first leaf. Uh, so yeah, some tomato plants. Yeah, because up here in Canada, at least where I live, I got to start the tomato and pepper plants and the stuff that you need more growing time for. So just wish the snow would go away. As it's snowing, I wish it'd go away. Um, yeah, I had 2 apple trees sprout through the dirt. So, and they're in 5 gallon pails um, now, along with the pomegranates. Uh, so, yeah, between doing the garden, I'm doing some woodwork in there and working on. Yeah, that's always a good thing there, Homestead Aquarius. Uh, yeah, outside, I've got some 45 gallon pails, some Rubbermaid totes, and a kiddie's pool. Um, yeah, yeah. The pomegranates, believe it or not, I got them started them from seeds. Same thing with the apple trees. But the pomegranates, I don't know where they came from. They could have, because they grow, and I guess they didn't go through uh, that X-ray machine or whatever that kills them off. Because I watch a couple of things on the internet here or on YouTube, and to see how things, how to start things off, or how to regrow things, and so I figured I watched a thing on how to grow pomegranates from seeds, and gotta eat all the red stuff off the seeds, and then dry them out with a towel and let them sit for a couple of days, and then plant them. And I kept watering them and let them sit in the sun, and I almost gave up on them. And then I'm fiddling with the dirt because I leave it a little rocky on the top, and I'm looking really close, shy of having my glasses on, and I noticed something sprouting up from the dirt, and I knew that that they were starting to sprout. So like I can't remember it. It could have taken like a month or 3 weeks for them to germinate, but they germinated and they grew. Got 5 of them, and so I got to bring them. I found out that they're a tropical plant, or they're from the south where they don't like the Canadian weather. So they got to come in with my lemon trees every winter. So that's okay. Got to do what you got to do, right? I like my pomegranates. They're a superfood. So not that I believe in healthy eating, but you know, they make good tea or juice. So yeah. Yeah, I'm working on some live edge end tables and coffee table there. Took a couple of cedar stumps, and about 4 of them, one for each end table, and 2 for the coffee table. And I'm going to be doing the next step and posting it up on a video feed there, and upload the video. I got to sand them down with my orbital sander, and then I've got the tops cut down to the coffee table. I got to cut it down with the table saw so I can end the end tables there so that they can fit through my planer, because they need a planing. Because at the ends it might be 2 inches and the middle might be 2.5 inches. There's a curve, you know, so I got to plane that out. And then so I got to cut them in half so they can fit through my planer. And I'm gonna have to re-glue them back together because they're like about 16 inches wide, or I can't remember, but they're really wide. And there's a way to if they weren't, they're kind of cracking in the middle, which I don't mind. I could always do wood filler with it, but it will warp. But there's a secret woodworker's trade that I could do if I wanted to. But like I said, I got to fit it through my planer to take that bowl out of the middle there and get it nice and level. But if I wasn't going to do it through the planer, all I got to do is get some angle iron. It's like it's an L shape. Drill some holes into it, and then router underneath the table tops there, and so that the L can fit into the bottom of the table, and then I can screw it to the table to help it not warp or do anything like that before I attach it to the legs. And then where the cracks are, I can do use one of a variety of wood fillers. I could use store-bought wood filler, which I never use. It's pretty much garbage because it has a hard time accepting color from stains or anything like that. I could use Bondo for cars, but it shows up really dark, which is okay if I want to go that way. I could do sawdust and glue with a little bit of latex paint. And it has to be latex paint if I'm going to be sealing it up, because the latex paint is a breathable paint. And then if I want to stain it or anything like that, I could go one of two ways. I could use store-bought stain, which is okay if you're doing the fine woodworking, right, where you're going to be sanding and planing and making everything like really nice, like the store-bought stuff. But this is like the stuff I do really well with is rustic woodworking with everything. So like I could take like the stuff, the bricks here, right? These are repurposed skids, right? And you can see the color change in them there, right? So, and I've done nothing to them. Some are sun beaten and some are with dirt, but they've all been sanded down. And then when I go to put stain on them, those colors will show up. But what I might do with it is put a latex paint on it, diluted, very diluted. For like a liter of water, I might put say 100 milliliters worth of latex paint in it, give or take, to that liter of water, and it will show up in any of the grooves or whatever, or marks are left behind, and it'll absorb into the wood a bit better and give it that more rustic look. Usually it's gray or black or something like that. That's used because they're normal. They're the common colors, right? When it's sun faded, it goes gray, or when it's been sitting in dirt or mud, it goes brown, like a darker color. Like this one here, it's suntanned, it's sun beaten. This one up here has been sitting in dirt, so yeah, and those things will show right through, right? So like I said, I got to sand that down and plane it and get it through the table saw, and then I do that stuff out in all the messy stuff out in my shed that I've got, and then I'll be bringing it up to the house because I do the gluing and staining and stuff like that in the house and putting it all together in the house where it's nice and warm. Yeah, I've got since high school Homestead Aquarius. I didn't start out with the live edge stuff, but in high school we did like store-bought stuff where it's nice and finished, right? Where you run it through planers and all that, right? But over the course of the years, I had worked for a guy that got a whole bunch of barns. Like he'd go out and buy barns like the Douglas fir, um, everything, right? Like the barn boards. He'd even get live edge stuff where they'd make when they go to cut down the tree, when they mill the tree, he'd get the whole width of the tree. So if it's like 3 feet wide, he gets the whole tree milled down to three, like one piece, right? So it's boom, like all the way through the tree on the bandsaw, right? And then that's all they do. And then um, so he pretty much showed me how to do some of that. I worked for him for a few years, and then moved up and away from where he was working. So yeah, I've got a few things that I've made here. I've got I have some planter boxes I made for on top of my deck there, and I've got raspberry vines in them. Um, and I kind of made a little, like it goes up in a square with skid boards, and so that the vines can grow up. And then I've got a little top on them there. I use some more. These are oak 4x6s that I cut down, and it used to be a farm fence, and then cut them down to 2-inch pieces, and then in the boxes I put the four posts and some 1x6s from the fence boards, and which I'll show in a video for Shed Wars. Then I've got two big, I think it's 2 or 3, I think it's about 3 feet by 4 feet raised beds in the backyard. One's got two blueberry bushes in it, and the other one's got garlic in it. Because one gets a lot of sun and one gets a lot of shade. And then I got another two planter box, and they're about waist, the two in the backyard with the blueberry bushes and the garlic are about waist height. And then I've got two in the front of the house there that are halfway up my leg, like between knee and waist height, and with skids, not full skids, just one side of the skid. I took them apart, but I left the tops on because of the way they were made, and they go up, and then they're attached at the top. Like I made this all out of the fence boards and the oak fence boards and oak 4x6s. And then I put and I cut the posts down there to 2x4s, and put a couple up this way on each box, and then a couple up at the very top there, and put the skid tops on. So, and then I've got skid boards as fencing around some of my gardens there to keep the dog out, because I got a little puppy right now that's about 5 months old, and he will dig. it's the nature of the breed. He's a part Great Pyrenees, part Miramar mix. Um, my last dog was a Great Pyrenees, and I like the breed. Um, they're great. Uh, they tend to shed a lot, which is something I can live with. And the barking too, I can live with. That's the two downfalls I find for that breed. But like there again, I can live with them. Those two things with that breed. Um, Only because they're great. They're great with people. If Hayes, Tennessee, preparedness, it's good to see you. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, he's a horse. He will be a horse. Yeah. Um, the Great Pyrenees dog I had, he had a hip dysplasia and a knee injury. Um, so I had to keep him at a light weight only because he at 115 pounds, which is the lightest they can be. Uh, but and that was happened at about 3.5 years old that he got the knee injury from taking out coyotes um, one night. And so when I was checking him, having him checked out from that, found out that he had hip dysplasia. But at that particular point, at 3.5, he was 145 pounds. The top of his head came to about waist height, like the top, like this part of his head came to my waist. So I love bigger dogs. I live alone, right? So uh, not that I'm scared of anything, but when you live in the middle of nowhere out in the country, right? It's nice to have a friend that's got your back. Um, you know. Plus, I'm gonna be doing a shed this like a chicken coop this summer. So um, and hopefully I'll get some chickens in there this summer. And there, he's a great. The breeds are a great guardian dog for livestock. So that's a good thing. Um, he's great around kids. They're great. They're a gentle guardian dog. They're a gentle giant. So, which is a good thing. They got a lot of tolerance for stuff. Uh, so it's always a good thing. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's pretty much all that's going on right now. It's winter. I'm gonna have to throw some snow at some point today, possibly. Not looking forward to that too much. Um, so what do you do, right? Um, yeah, they are. They are very cool. Uh, yeah, I never liked. Well, it's not that I don't like smaller dogs. The only thing is with that, you tend to step on them. Um, I find I like the bigger dogs because I trip over them. Uh, it's a little hard to step on them. They're usually getting out of the way of you when you're moving around. And they're so much fun to play with. Really fun to play with. It's like playing with a brother or something the same size as you. Yeah, yeah, that is for sure. Homestead Aquarius. Yeah, yeah. I've got a younger sister of 3.5 years, and never had a brother. But my last Great Pyrenees dog, he was like a brother to me because I could always play with him. He was great that way. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My last dog, my last Great Pyrenees. Now, keep in mind the house is maybe from the side of my house to the side of my neighbor's house is over 50 feet away, and four doors down can hear that dog bark. He had a loud and deep bark. Uh, every time I had to put him in a cage because he had that separating anxiety. So I put him every time I put him in the cage and left, you could hear him outside. So that's kind of a good thing for when people come over. Yeah, yeah. His dad lives out in Arizona there, and he's always saying that he lives in the middle of nowhere out in Scottsdale, but he can see the neighbor's place, and he's not a gun person by any means, but he had to buy some guns living out there, just unsure of what might go on or what have you, right? But yeah, you know, but he just didn't want to deal. He had a 12 gauge, which I got from him, and it was really easy to get me the paperwork and get it all said and done for it, and because it was almost like I was being godfathered into it, owning that gun. Uh, which up here I can go hunting for deer and stuff like that. I'm in good with a couple of the farmers up here because coyotes, they're open season up here, and with having livestock up here, that attracts the coyotes, and especially if there's a watering spot nearby. Hey, Cashew, how's it going? Um, Having the coyotes up here, got to protect the livestock, and they'll let me go hunting, and the coyotes, and they'll let me bring home a deer or two, a turkey or two a year, and say nothing about it. Um, so, which is nice. Yeah. Uh, yeah, they Janine, they're they're smart. They're very smart animals. Yeah, me too. It's snowing up here at Cashew. Those coyotes, Janine, they're smart animals. The last place I lived, it was on a 100-acre farm, and I rented the house out and an acre on that 100-acre farm. And what would happen is late at night, in the middle of the night, I'd be sleeping, and my landlord would have a couple of dogs in with a herd of sheep, of about 250 sheep, and I would hear like one or two coyotes right by the house, and while the other, however many would be at the other end of the field, and they'd and those one or two coyotes would get the dogs over up by the house, and all the other ones would go in for the kill. Stray the dogs away. Um, they're very smart animals. So he was actually one of the first farmers I helped out with that problem, having those problems, because like he'd get like $200 a sheep at hang weight, and that's a lot of money, to a farmer. Maybe lose one sheep, but when you lose one every night, that becomes a lot of money, especially when they can give birth to 3 and 4 lambs at a time at a particular time. Hey there, Hedgehog Homestead. How's it going today? So yeah, yeah, a lot of different and interesting things going on here. So yeah, I'm doing good. It's snowing out right now, pretty good. So I'll have to go out and get the snow thrower going, get some snow cleared away, which is going to be hard. But anyways, don't like the cold. But it's got to get done. But I'm glad I got a snow thrower. Yeah, got a few things going in the greenhouse. Hey, Bigfoot Lake Fairy, how's it going this morning? Yeah. Yeah, I'm able to do lives now there, Bigfoot Lake Fairy, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting the storm that Hedgehog got there. And yeah, because it's looking pretty bad. I can just see the third house down, which is maybe 150 feet away or so. So makes me glad I got a generator and a kerosene heater just in case. Because that's what happens up here in Canada when it starts snowing like this and the wind picks up. Sometimes the power will just go out. Makes me glad I started doing the preparing thing, I guess. Because up here, the roads where I live, we got the 2-lane highways in our area, and the country highways there, and they do get shut down. Yeah, the OPPs here will sit from at one end and sit at the other end in their cars and just shut down the highway. You can't go through because the wind just blowing right across the highway creates the like the whiteouts and so when you got the whiteouts, people have been known to drive right off the road or jackknife tractor trailers and stuff like that. So they just shut down the highways. Yeah. Yeah, it is a good morning. A snowy morning too. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it is Canada, Cashew. Homestead Aquarius. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be Canadian if we didn't, and it wouldn't be Canada if it didn't snow. But we do have some good ice fishing up here. It gets so cold up here sometimes you could have a bonfire on the lakes. Which is kind of fun. Be out there all day in your hut there and have a bonfire going inside the hut. But yeah, just it's that time of the year where I guess it snows one day and it's gonna be warm the next day. And I can't wait. I can't wait for this snow to go away. But it will sooner or later. We will. It will sooner or later. Get my gardens going and get a few loads of manure in and some triple mix in for my gardens and that. Get everything all raked up and stuff like that. Put it in the gardens. Get the composting put in the gardens. Get the rototiller going, which is nice. Like being outside. That's only because it never freezes up to like 4 feet. Oh yeah, some of the ice up here. Uh, I live by relatively close to the Grand River, and it it tends to flood up in Grand Valley, which is like 20 minutes. Um, uh, that going behind me, going that way, and going down that road about 5 minutes, there's a reservoir to the Grand River. Um, so that in the spring times, because the Grand River will get iced up, and right in Grand Valley, because it's a windy river, um, it will get backed up and it'll come onto the road across the road. And some of the ice, we call them icebergs up here because they can be as big as a car. Some of these chunks of ice um, onto people's front lawns across the road, which is probably, I might be exaggerating, just barely exaggerating, 100 feet from the actual river. But the reservoir, you can go snowmobiling on it, take your four-wheeler on it, take a truck on it. You know what I mean? So then it's just once it's out, you know, uh, it'll freeze up within overnight. So that's the goal this time of the year. So yeah, I wouldn't want to be taking that nice new tractor onto it. They're a hedgehog because they can get up to 10,000 pounds. So that'd probably be really pushing it. We'd have to have a real cold winter up here. I mean, a lot of -20, -30 weather, and even in the days to be able to do that. And I wouldn't even attempt it till mid or late January. Yeah, well, we might have a long fuse up here, Cashew, but we do some funny things. We do some funny things. Where people in other parts of the world think sideways or you can't do that. Yeah. I've seen some winters like that in the last 10 years. I remember maybe 6 years ago, I was renting that place in Grand Valley. I've been here for just over 4 years now. Five years this coming fall. So might have been 2 years at the place I was renting. I was there for almost 5 years before I got really sick and just had to move out of there. But 6 years ago, the frost went, so it was very little snow, and we seen a lot of -25, 30 during the day, and close to -40, 45 at night with the wind. And the frost went so deep into the ground because the frost will go about 4 feet roughly here in Canada. And that year, because my landlord there, he has I don't know what he's got now, but at the time he had about 1,000 head of sheep and about 1,000 acres worth of croplands. And one of the things he had taught me is when the soil's still dark and damp looking, that's when the frost is still in the ground. And I remember him having a late year that year. I don't think he got his crops in until almost June, if not June, which is late for them, really late for them. Because they're in there by turning up the fields and stuff like that for sure. Come April, late April, if they can, with their double tires at the back and double tires on the front, so they can float a bit better. So when they notice that frost come out of there, about a week after, they're non-stop going from dusk till dawn, planting. So yeah, I've had the pleasure of helping them put in some crops there and taking out some crops. Because every year when he starts doing it, puts in the corn or the fall wheat, and then the soybeans. When he goes to put each crop in, the seeders, they drop the seeds and plant them, and there's a place for you to walk up on because it was a double layer of boxes and seeds. And I got to ride on that machine while he was going, just to make sure for the timing. And it's only like you got to ride it for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. to see it and set it so that um, for the timing. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait to get the stuff outside their homestead Aquarius. Um, yeah, I've got all the stuff that takes a long time in my inside of my house here. Um, but like the tropical stuff and the peppers and the tomatoes and any trees I'm starting. Um, but I do the rest. I sell the rest of the stuff come May 2-4 week between May 2-4 and June 1st. Um, so then once I start seeing the stuff, then that's when I start to um, spread it out. Because the carrot seeds they're really small. Um, so I just put a hole in the ground, like a row in the ground, and then bury them up and water them. And when they start showing, and I got they're big enough for me to at least grab and deal with a bit better. That's okay there, Bigfoot Lake Fairy. West Canadians, at least I can speak it for myself. I can take that. Got to keep our stick on the ice sometimes. I can handle it. Like the ice fishing, like the playing the hockey stuff. So my dog even likes playing in the snow. So yeah, yeah. I wish I could. I wish I could, Cashew. Yeah, I wish I could. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, they're calling for a lot of blowing snow up here. Yeah, but yeah, we keep the snow up here for sure. For sure. Yeah. But even the snow up here has got to go away for a while. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He likes playing around in the snow. My dog there. He most definitely loves it. Hey, White Dove, how's it going this morning? Yeah, yeah. This is my first real live stream. Did a couple of tests the other day. I just decided to pull a surprise live stream to bored out of my mind, waking up, having coffee. Yeah, it's snowing pretty decent up here. Got some of the larger flakes. So, are you in Canada here, White Dove, or are you in the States? Where are you? Yeah, it is Cashew. Yeah. Um, just trying to think of stuff to talk about, but I guess the best thing I could do is just what I'm doing here. Um, you know, so yeah. gonna pretty much call it in the next little while. Upstate New York. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Wake up. Thanks, Bigfoot Lake Fairy. Yeah, I've been on for almost an hour, so give it a few more minutes. Um, yeah, I can't. Yeah, Homestead Aquarius. I can't believe I'm growing ginger and turmeric and pomegranates up here in Canada, and there's snow on the ground. Yeah, can't believe I'm doing that stuff. It says a lot. Yeah, I try. I try. That's the best I can do is just try. I figured that you know, break the edge on going live with everybody else. That it's time to maybe do it myself a little bit. So you know, it's not easy, but got to get past that unsurety, I guess you could say, of doing live streams and maybe figuring out some content. Um, so yeah, maybe bring you guys along here. Get the laptop here unhooked. Get you guys come with me here for a minute. Want to show especially Homestead Aquarius here. My indoor greenhouse here. Where are we? Yeah, there we go. There's one of the turmerics. I think. And yeah, you see that one there, Homestead Aquarius? It's growing. Got a few more there coming up. Some more there. Second, yeah, I do. Yeah, the leaves they're in the middle of the shoot are starting to come up, and these all have been. I harvested it. I had 6 plants, and then I harvested it everything. Not everything. But I left a little chunk of the turmeric with the roots on it and the shoot, and I replanted them, and now I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of them now. So that's a good thing, I guess. Bring you up here. And There's my lemon tree. I don't know if you guys can see it. And then, I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, there it is. There's one of my pomegranates right there. So I got 2 apple trees in here. I got 2 other lemon trees. I got a peach tree and a pear tree in here. So yeah, they do multiply. Even the turmeric, not the turmeric multiplies, but the ginger, I think, even multiplies too. Hey Audrey, how's it going? Yeah, thanks there, Audrey. I was just showing my turmeric and my ginger and stuff like that, and even my pomegranates up here in Canada. So, yeah, which is something to do. Yeah, yeah. What's her name? Wade Family Farms. I wish I knew to get where to get tobacco seeds. That'd be something neat to try here. So yeah, save me money from buying tobacco. I just finished doing broccoli. I did broccoli and celery. Um, I'm going to be doing some more peppers on the dehydrator today. Just making some space in the freezer, my fridge freezer. Um, so making some dehydrated vegetables for my soups and my fruits. And then my soups, not the fruits, um, dehydrated vegetables for soups and stews and chilies, pretty much. Because when I go to do that stuff, I've got this big um, water bather, um, and I put everything in there, and I know that I can get about 11 1 liter mason jars um, out of it, and so what I'll do is put the dehydrated vegetables in there and until they absorb the water and all that properly. Um, then I'll go and stick it into my pressure, put it all in the mason jars, and get the mason jars all ready for pressure canning and pressure can it. And then I've got a pretty good stock of that going. Um, you know, I got chili in the pantry, some spaghetti sauce in the pantry. I've got about 5 or 6 different soups going on in the pantry, and I think the longest date that I got on there The furthest date I've got is somewhere in May of last year. So pretty good. I plan on making a pork soup one day with it. So, I got this big pork loin. It's a couple of feet long and really big. So I'll put that into the oven for so long until it starts falling. I can make it fall apart. And then put it in that pot with a whole bunch of homemade chicken broth, bone broth, and then put all my vegetables in there that I want in there, and then get her canned up. I don't put any spices in it right away. I don't put rice or pasta in it right away, or cornstarch. I usually wait until I open up the pressure canned stuff. So yeah, that sounds like it might be good there, Cashew. So yeah. Alrighty, this thing's about to die. My laptop here is about to die soon. So I'm gonna, yeah, it will. My laptop's about to die here. So yeah, I do. They're Homestead. But I'm gonna call this stream now. Because my laptop's about to die. I will see you guys soon. Either when I upload a video or come out again. So I'll see you all soon. Okay. Have a good day.